Hello, welcome to Cushy TV, the straight talking YouTube channel. Who shot Frank Warren? Frank had pulled up, jumped out of a chauffeur-driven car outside of a theatre boxing show in Barking, just east of London, Barking in Essex. Yeah, and a masked man in a balaclava pulls out German Luger 9mm. Bang, bang, Frank Warren misses his heart by 1 inch. Yes, in old money for you centimetre guys. Misses his heart by 1 inch. He loses part of his lung, some of his ribs, 2 of his ribs I think, due to the injury. Miracle how he survived, and he wasn't meant to survive. In fact, rival promoter Mickey Duff said it can't be anybody in the boxing world. Somebody said, why is that? He said they wouldn't have missed. Of course, it was Duff's humour, who's the rival promoter, Frank Warren. So let's take a look at Frank Warren, and he started actually promoting his legendary unlicensed fighter, come from Oxon, East London, Lenny the Governor McLean. So he started out in this industry, in the boxing, but it was unlicensed, and he was doing quite well, and then went into the license promoting. But as a boy, I think he used to sell coffee machines and stuff as a lad before this, but he was a proper wheeler deal, left school at 15, comes from a really tough family in Islington. In fact, Frank's uncle, I believe it is, Bobby Warren, was part of the crew with Frankie Fraser, who viciously attacked the old king of the underworld, Jack Spot Comer. And they caught him in a shop somewhere. I think there was more than just the two of them. They had more numbers, but a vicious attack had taken. Comer was left with some vicious cut wounds. And yeah, so that was that. So he comes from a staunch, tough family from Islington. Frank Warren, we now know he's an Hall of Famer, has made it right the way through, and he's done fantastically well. I've had the privilege of meeting Frank only briefly. Nice, pleasant man. I had a fighter on the show, we've done a press conference on one of his shows, and yeah, couldn't say any more nice about Frank. Pleasant to meet. You ought to speak as you find. Now, let's bring in who shot Frank Warren. First off, let's bring in the accused. Now, the accused was the fighting fireman, yeah, born East London. Actually ended up residing in Basildon, Essex. Of course, it was champion of the world, Terry Marsh, like welterweight champion was. In fact, unbeaten, beat Joe Manley in that circus tent for the IBF. Good fighter. In fact, a nice man too. I had a very pleasant chat in East London with him. We come on our table for about 20 minutes, and what a very pleasant man he was. But he was accused. Now, they had this legal rift going, accusations. Marsh blaming Warren, Warren blaming Marsh, and he fitted the description. You know, witnesses said, in fact, Frank Warren, listen to this, he had some well-spoken, properly trained lawyer type accent, somebody you wouldn't think would go in, actually, he dived on the gunman and says, "You've just shot my friend," something like that. It's a really well-spoken bloke. You think like you would think like a complete nutcase would do from the streets. But this bloke had a low heartbeat and see his friend get shot and actually tackled the gunman, and the gunman fled. And he was a very fit man, and he was a sort of tallish, slight man. Well, that matches the description of Terry Marsh. Yeah, of course he could run, legged it away, champion of the world, as fit as a flea. If it was Terry Marsh, well, of course we don't know that. In fact, he was not guilty, wasn't he? But this is what happened. He spent 10 months on remand. Witnesses come forward. When asked Frank Warren who had shot him, he said, no idea. No clue. So staunch Frank right to the end. When I say staunch, he come from a criminal family, and he was not saying who had shot him. And Terry Marsh was acquitted of murder. I think it was a majority verdict. Other rumours circled, but they're just rumours for the reasoning for it. But we do know it was quite open and public. They were in a dispute about a contract breach, and that was it. But Frank, since later, says he now knows who had shot him. These are Frank's words, not my words. He now knows who shot him. And they said, well, why not you revenge, and he went, oh, well, I'm just let it be. It is what it is, and what goes around comes around, and the person that shot him is not doing very well and didn't get very lucky in life. He said, but he did have other family members, including his uncle, that did want to take retribution is the right word. Yeah, to pay back, but he refused. How lucky was Frank Warren? 1989, 30th November, bang, bang, 1 inch away from losing his life. Who done it remains a mystery. Terry Marsh got acquitted. And why? Why would you want to kill Frank Warren? That's part of the mystery. We found out who shot J.R. Ewing. We didn't find out who shot Frank Warren. We do know the accused. We know full well who was accused. It was Terry Marsh, but he was found not guilty. Yeah, and Frank's gone off and out there into the MSV. He's doing fantastic in the boxing world, and he's worked very hard. He's had some ups and downs, and I'm pleased for him. And when I last see Terry Marsh, he was doing some dinner speaking. I think he's gone into the political world, and I think he's doing okay. And then that's all I know. But as I say, we know he shot J.R. Ewing. We know he shot Frank Warren. No, we don't. And what Frank does, I'm going to keep that to himself. His business, not mine. But in the meantime, thanks for tuning in.